said last night about how you want to be poor and how everybody's talking about you going to the ACC. But given what you went through in the ACC, is it easy to still be poor and not get caught up in we're 14th, we're 13th,
I think
and still remember?
Great point. No, I think it's really easy to remember, that we haven't earned any respect in this league yet. And, that's what we're digging and scratching and fighting for. And now you're in kind of survival mode in this league. Yeah, no question, because you're very grounded. 6-12 last year keeps you hungry and poor.
Given everything you guys have gone through this year, how prepared are you to say this year the ACC can be different because of what we've done, because of every? I mean,
yeah.
I know you haven't accomplished, but the steps you've taken.
Yeah.
Michigan State, check. Florida State, check.
I think I think our frame of mind is great. I think we're going into league play, confident, but also knowing that we're going to take punches throughout a game and throughout the season. But you like the frame of mind going into this thing. We were able to get this group confident, which was the goal, really starting back. Started the foreign tour practices. So, I certainly love mine starting league play this year as opposed to last year.
You've compared Demetrius's leadership to a lot about Ben. But when Ben did it, he did it as a fifth-year guy. How rare is it to have such a strong voice in this program?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we know he's playing well, and we've talked about his decision-making and being a better guard and shooting percentage, but that the leadership piece of it is coming so soon, so quick, so powerful, yet not intruding on Jaron and Pat. That it's been masterful, really, and it's been really neat to see Jaron and Pat know that helps us. We need him to do that. That helps us. One of the things I did starting last night, when we come in for timeouts, when we're seated, he's usually sat to the far right, but he would be coming in, and Jaron and Pat would be, but he always would sit there. And I told him yesterday at shoot-around, I said, I want you to sit right in front of me. My point guard needs to sit right in front of me, and that way when you talk, you can go both ways with stuff. And so he was in front of me last night, and again, it's just another way, I think, to keep endorsing. We need your voice. We want your voice, and keep doing it. It's interesting to watch. What I've been really pleased with was him and Jaron's relationship, and how, I put a clip together the second week of practice. I had him sit right here. We had some highlights and of them in practice, boom, boom. And at the end, best backcourt in the ACC, ? I wanted to really groom those two guys, to have together and to help each other. And that relationship has really grown, and I think one of the reasons we're playing well.
Is it 2 and 3? Are you in the middle?
Yeah, I usually sit here, and Demetrius is here, and then two like that.
And then Pat said last night too, when he was a sophomore, he wanted to be more of a voice, but he just couldn't. He kind of couldn't figure out how to do it. How much of Demetrius being a voice is, like you said, Pat have allowed him to say, hey, don't be afraid. Speak your mind if you have something to say.
I think, with his play and his preparation, and his frame of mind this year, he's really earned their respect to the point of, I think those two guys are really smart. They've been in our program a while, and probably the bottom line is, man, they really want to win. And so it's like, okay, that helps us win. That doesn't intrude. We're not insecure about it. Came into one of the timeouts last night, and he and Demetrius were talking, Pat, and probably debating a little bit, which is good. And I got in there, and Pat was like, well, we'll talk about it later. I go, no, go ahead, talk about it now. Go ahead. That's. And they were talking about, hey, we're going to switch that, and that's the kind of stuff that's been good with this group. They've really talked through things. As far as Georgia Tech goes, All right. I don't know if there's two teams more different than last year, us and them. You know, we played them twice last year. We're very different. They may be even more different than last year. They're huge. They're going to try and pound us on the backboard. You know, but I've got to get to know them here when I leave over the next 2 days because there's so many new faces. But what's interesting is the new faces are old. You know, they got a fifth-year senior. They got the kid from Maryland who got eligible right away. So it's not like they're working in 18-year-olds. They're men. They're older guys. They're going to defend you a la Michigan State, jam it in there. They haven't shot it great to date, but, you know, it gets to really the next two games. It gets back to how do we block out? How do we guard big physical front lines? Because we got two in a row really coming at us.
How does the quick turnaround, I mean, you play Georgia Tech at home Saturday, then you're at UNC Monday. How does the quick turnaround, which will happen more in conference play, affect you guys? Well,
I think we only have one of these, right? We only have one this year. Back in the Big East, one year we had four. And our program is used to the Saturday, Monday stuff. And one of the things we've changed last year is after our game Saturday, we're going to get into Chapel Hill Saturday night instead of waiting. And we did that last year. We lost a tough one, got in there, and I thought, we had a chance to win down there in Chapel Hill. So we'll get out of here Saturday. We'll be able to practice in the Dean Dome Sunday. You're not going to do it's more of a mental day, stretch them out. You got to be really careful about what you do physically Sunday. But we've had one of those stretches earlier this year, and I tried to, talk about, hey, when we get to January 3rd, 5th, this simulates it. So we've done it a lot before, but this is the only time it comes up in our program this year.
And you've only had VJ back for 2 games, increasing minutes. What have you seen from him that you like or anything that...
Well, what I like is we've not had any soreness. This plantar fasciitis can be a lingering thing, and I'm really hopeful and knocking on wood that we're at it. We're getting away from that. Number one, I've loved how he's practiced. He's practiced with great energy. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago he kicked Jaren's butt in practice, which was great to see. He was moving. And, so again, he comes back at a key time for us. We need him. He's a scoring guy off the bench. He's a shot maker off the bench. What I've liked is, because, his confidence, it was growing, and then you're worried about, okay, young guy, he's out. Is he going to step back? And he didn't. He came back in the game before Northern Illinois game. He came back. It's like, look, I'm back. And and I think his teammates and myself, we've been very conscious of, good to have you back, man. Great to have you back. He knows we need him.
You went out on a limb on your radio show and said Jaren's a lottery pick?
Are you getting that from? I'll say this, just from talking to people. He's really trending up. Right. I had an agent tell me 2 days ago that he feels at the end of the day he'll be the best point guard in the draft because there's a lot of smaller guards in the draft, and he's a big guard. I think with each week, the momentum for him from that league is, wow, he really does do some things that translate into the NBA. The playmaking off of ball screen stuff, which is so much of the NBA. But, I would not be shocked if he plays his way to that territory. There's a great buzz about him, and I think it'll only pick up. And the great thing about him, man, he wants to win too. He wants to win, and got our passing. Jaren's unselfishness, when your best player is really unselfish like that, it gets contagious with the other guys. The other guys are looking, well, he's doing that, and I think it really has been ever since he's been here, and been kind of a main cog for us. But he's trending up, and there's a lot of momentum for him.
It seems like in games, I mean, you look at the stat sheet early. I don't know how often you guys look at it, but he may only have 2 points.
Yeah.
But he'll have 5 or 6 assists before he has 5
Yeah, it's really, Coach Solomon always says he's a stat sheet stuffer. You just look across there and the things he does with it. He's got such a basketball intelligence, which I think it certainly has helped us bode well for his future in the NBA. He really thinks the game, and God, he has good insights. When he watches college games and NBA stuff, and he'll come and make comments to me. He's got really good feedback. Certainly a student of the game, and he grew up. That's the dinner table talk in that family. His life, but there's I think the next level is very excited about him, and I think one couple guys have said, man, he picked up right where he left off and maybe is better. And I think they were waiting to see, can he really do that? Can he come back and do that? And he has.
When you hear that talk from the NBA people, how nice is that? Because it seems like in that league, they'll look more at a freshman, sophomore guard than they will a fifth-year guard. Well, if he's a fifth-year guard, there's got to be something wrong because he's still in school.
And I still think that's a hurdle for him to get over. He's like this old guy, but he is the youngest old guy ever. He's still a young 22 as a 5-year guy. But I do think they're looking, and with his production each week, they're getting away from, well, he's a fifth-year guy. He's not this young phenom. So. Again, and a couple people, NBA people, have told me as far as a point guard goes, the numbers don't matter as much anymore because they've seen the numbers. Can his team win? Can he keep getting his team to have big wins? And I think that's where his frame of mind is.
I know this is totally off topic, but what happens when you're a coach and you see something with Mick Cronin? What does that do for you? And have you talked? Because I know you're close with him.
Yeah, I have talked with him, and he's going to be fine. They're going to really look and watch it. I think I've done a better job. I think all of us, with the stress and the pace of this job, you really have to learn to pace yourself and learn how to shut it down. You've got to work out and be in condition just like your players physically and take care of yourself. And I think anytime you see something like that, you just remind yourself, to pace yourself. Maybe you don't need to watch film till 3 a.m. Watch till 11, get up and watch at 8, and that type of thing. I think as I've gotten up there and more experience, I've been smarter about pacing myself. But it's they did this with somebody, I don't know, maybe it was Izzo or something, where they had a monitor of blood pressure. I don't even want to know what mine is during a game, because I'm sure the numbers, the heart rate and the blood pressure stuff is all over the board. But, a game is a workout. I wake up this morning and I'm sore, and I know I stand and I walk a lot, but I just think, you're kind of flexing, you're trying to show emotion. I got up, I was all ready to work out this morning. I was like, you know what? I think I need a day just to get my legs under me. I'll get back to that tomorrow.
So those Saturday Mondays really take it out
of you, those Saturday Mondays, man, Coach's got to pace himself too. He's got to get his rest too. All right, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.